Awesome. So today is essentially just designed as a check-in to kind of see where everybody's at in the crosswalking document. Constance won't make it today. She's got some stuff they're dealing with at NLC level.
Hmm.
So they're data mining and getting prepared for that process that's about to come up. Um, so I'm gonna go ahead and open up the oh, and thank you everyone for your patience because I had not put in this stuff. So has everyone had a chance to look at it?
I did look at it and I think, what confused me a little bit, I think we're one meeting behind some of the other groups, which is
Yeah,
Yeah.
why you hadn't put it in there, but I did find it this morning and started going through some of the new stuff that was in there.
perfect. So essentially the crosswalk was just looking at the standard and it's just like a quick overview to kind of condense out of that 75 million page document um to be able to kind of find the examples and say if we got it there or not and what our plan is otherwise. um
Mhm.
and then the actual writing draft, I was working on it here, is the narrative part. So I just wanted to kind of show you where I'm at with it. So like for this one, this is so tiny. I apologize. I should have made it bigger. And so I'm essentially answering the questions as succinctly as I can and linking the evidence into it. Okay. And then that's pretty much it. So that's all that's being asked, and Constance will look at the entire standard, put it all in one voice, cross-check everything that's there, and then say if what we've provided as evidence is sufficient or not. So Karen and Misty, you know more about this than me, honestly. So I'm the new guy here with this, and so this is essentially how we're rolling.
And this is from our last meeting, you mentioned that this is the draft that you want it done by November 11th.
As best as we can, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, like already I've identified, and I was talking to Misty about it a little bit. I have to rework the entire PC faculty course. Because there's no way a surveyor could look in there and see, like, understand what the hell's happening.
Yeah.
So when we look at it from that perspective, I mean, there's stuff that's out of our control, which is really, hard sometimes. I was like whining to Misty about it, just the expectation that the bedside faculty come in with as we're not necessarily a unified system. So long story short, this is essentially what Constance is asking for. Okay.
Okay.
Um, and then we do have an adjunct that wanted to help, but I had 3 adjuncts that wanted to help, and they all got crisscrossed in my head. So Terry is actually going to help, I believe, on standard 4. Where'd she go? Terry Kaiser. She's a newer faculty. She's about to
Mhm.
retire. So she really is going to come in the spring more to provide support. I thought I put her name in here.
I thought it was standard 4 because I thought you
Yeah,
were
she's
meeting with
gonna
her
come into
after our
standard
standard
4.
4 one.
Yeah. So I don't know why. Oh, I didn't put her in there because I was confirming her. That's why. I'll fix it later. So yeah, she's got some great social determinants of health data that we can demonstrate that she's already seen in her onboarding that we're addressing based on the standards. So I was like, woo. So she'll help there. So any questions about the documents since my head fell off and I forgot to give you what you needed to do your job?
No.
Just the crosswalk, how much do you want us adding anything to that, or is it just we're kind of looking at that to get our, um, to focus our stuff for the writing draft?
Yeah, it's essentially intended in that regard. So
Yeah.
it's just a quick view. There's also all of the advanced practice programs, LPM program stuff. So I just took all that out so that we're not answering questions that don't relate to us.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's essentially, is the evidence there? If not, what's your plan? So you know, it's just a quick view. And I also tried to do it in a way that made sense for the different approaches that folks might have. Some folks work better here and then writing. Other folks are like, get that away from me. Let me just answer some questions. So what Constance is editing is the actual draft. That's what's going to make the report.
Okay.
Okay. So that's essentially it. I mean, this is a team that works. You give us the thing, we get it done. So it's a little bit different. Some of the other teams need a bit more support. This is, I think, one of the easier standards of all of them. Some of the things too that I wanted to remind you all, not because of you all, but because of what I've been experiencing with the other teams, is to make sure that you're putting whatever evidence you find into the share drive, because that's where Constance is going to be creating the PDFs from. So when we go to the shared drive, there is a table of contents. So you can, you know, quick find what the folders look like.
Yeah.
And you are more than welcome to add a folder if you need to. So I'm just going to jump over to standard 2. So right now I'm working on the onboarding stuff and it really works fine. Based on what it looks like at this point. So onboarding documents, I'm just finding the reporting structure, our workflow, you know, all the documents we use to help faculty. And then in the employee and faculty evals, so I put this in the wrong freaking folder, but it directs the surveyors to Constance for faculty sensitive data for our FERPA. Does that make sense? Clear as mud? Yeah.
Yeah. One thing I have discovered, like you mentioned before, like working in the 2.6, looking at it, like the first one's like evidence of we're utilizing evidence-based practice in our teaching and instruction. Like, well, that happens during their evaluations. Like
it is okay
faculty
from
are
what,
evaluated.
yeah, it is okay from what Constance shared with me as far as in the surveyor's opinion. You can refer them to somewhere else.
Okay, so I can
in
say,
the report.
please see criteria 2.8
Correct.
on the faculty evaluation process, in which they would then be evaluated on whether or not they're utilizing those things.
Yeah, but even in
Okay.
here for the evaluation, we do have the space for evaluation here. Employee and faculty evaluation. So we're just putting like what do the like the PDF would be, what is the eval questions? Do you know what I mean? And then
Yeah.
the data, because it's sensitive, would go into the files.
Yeah.
And
Did I
Are
answer
you
your
saying
question?
faculty using evidence-based practice? Because I mean,
Yeah. So
would like
the
Misty and block 2 and block 3 have a similar assignment where the students look at like best practice guides and then evaluate what's currently being done? Is that are
kind
the
of. So it
faculty
actually
evaluating that?
says,
Does that count or no?
I don't think so. I think what I could do is probably pull like a couple of lesson plans, maybe, of like, this is what they plan to do. But it says, does full-time faculty teaching performance reflect evidence-based teaching
Oh, I see.
strategies? I'm like, well, we can give them our plan, but that's not actually what we do, which is where I think fits into our evaluation performance, our process. Like that's where we're all
Yeah, you can.
evaluated, whether or not we're actually doing the things we say we're doing.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and the other part too, Corinne, is that there's nothing in our evaluation processes that we use from Maricopa that asks that specific question.
It's more of this your, people to evaluate that.
Yeah, and that could be something that we gotta add for the spring. Do you know what I mean? Do you
Yeah.
feel that your faculty member, like in the faculty evals for the students, we gotta add that because it doesn't exist in any of our Maricopa based evaluation forms. So even the old clinical faculty form that we were using that doesn't encompass lab or sim faculty, you know, what we did was we put them together, you know, the one for like to encompass both. So essentially the form
Yeah.
we're using now has both, but it doesn't have a question for EVP. So we can say, no, we don't have that. Let's add that into the evals.
And Corinne, did you happen to look at the one from 2017? It looks like they just created a table with some examples of evidence-based teaching strategies utilized within the program. So
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Which
yeah,
it just to me, I'm like, okay, those are the things we said we did, but the question really asked if we're doing the things we said we did.
yeah, I'm trying to look at the
And-
question here again.
Yeah.
So I just
mean, we
started
have,
working on it, and those were initial thoughts. I was like, okay.
we have things linked to Lippincott Advisor, which is what the hospitals are using for their policies and procedures too. So when we incorporate that into our, I don't know, learning activities, that
Yeah.
resource.
I remember, Corinne, your focus is the simulation component of it. So there's a lot of stuff in here that's part of 2.4 and 2.5.
Yeah.
So, I can drop some stuff in there too, or if somebody finds something that fits there for more instructional, like what Karen
Well,
and Misty were
yeah.
saying. Huh?
I was just working because it looks like on our list, that's the down to 2.6. So I started working there. So I guess that's for my clarification. Should I be taking the whole standard or just going through the thing and stopping when I was?
Is everybody else hearing Corinne muffled? I hear her really muffled. It might be my
Yeah.
speaker.
Yeah, I didn't catch all that.
Okay. Left my other speaker upstairs. For, I guess my clarification, Marilyn, is because so on our list, I had 2.6 delineated for me to work on. But if there are things in other spaces, should I be pulling a whole thing or just going through the entire criterion list and dropping in the sim specific stuff?
That's essentially for you, yeah. As far as your role is concerned. Do you know what I mean? But remember, we're all learning the
Yeah.
standard. So part of this check-in is saying, hey, I think that this is more related to standard so-and-so. Do you have something for that? You know what I mean?
Mhm.
So it may be that you're going in from the simulation perspective
Okay.
only through the whole thing. What do you think, Misty and Karen? Because y'all actually got more experience at this than me. And that's also where the crosswalk document helps, because you can just quick scan and see where your stuff goes. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. No, I think I like that. I think it makes it a lot easier to see where everything needs to go. Everything has its place.
Mm-hmm.
And remember too, Corinne, circling back to what I think you were asking about 2.6, like as far as the supporting evidence, like some of it will be right in the report, but some of it is literally just like the report telling them, okay, here are the things that we're doing. And then they're going to validate that in other ways, right? Because they're going to come to a class, they're going to come to a lab, they're going to come to,
Okay. Yeah.
So
Gotcha.
I don't think we have to have all of it spelled. This is already going to be like a 300-page document. So we don't have to put, tons of, I think, like I said, the table that was there before, like just a general overview of here are some of the things that we're doing. And
Okay.
then they'll be able to collect and validate, verify that when they look at some of those other things and when they look in the drive and all of that.
Yeah, and some of the questions are like repeated in a different variation. It's the same thing they're asking.
Mhm.
Like how are support services accessed? And then you go up to my standards over here and it asks about their support services. I have to find it, but it's essentially
Yeah.
in there.
So like one section you're explaining what they are, and then the second section you're explaining how they access them. Is that what you're saying? Or
And
you're just saying it's repetitive, redundant?
yeah, it's a little redundant.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm gonna go over into the actual writing draft. So the Springboard to Success, I actually enrolled in it. And then I found the course objectives, and then I went in and I got the modules for it. And I started clicking around to see like what exactly are you doing here? And in here it has support for the faculty, faculty resources, health and wellness, learning and professional growth. And then I had to go back in and find the RFP stuff that goes through the PAR, which also talks about faculty resources and support. But the adjuncts don't go through a PAR. So I got to get the adjunct faculty handbook. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
So I think as far as priorities, Corinne, probably standard 2 for you would be one of the later ones, because I think in what Karen, Misty, and I are doing, you're gonna find the things, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Just an idea for approach.
I'm open to any because I have a lot.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. And then so y'all know, and I know Misty, because you just happen to be in my office. I am sending an adjunct survey out just to kind of get a pulse check for everyone on their feelings around the program, how things are going, all of that, just to get some feedback, because we do need a feedback process, and we can do that maybe at the end of each semester. But I understand, and this is via Constance, not because I've been in everybody's experiences, that some blocks are not doing their debrief with their faculty after the students leave. And that's an important piece. Like, we can't just let them out early. Like, we do need to talk about the sim, what went well, what worked, what didn't work, make notes. And that was happening in every block after every experience. So I'm not sure where that fell off, but I understand it fell off. So, one of our interventions will be, this is a way that adjuncts give us feedback. So, do we need to be documenting what's stated? It's not just a conversation. Like, what do we need to do to demonstrate that we are actually doing it?
I know that for that particular thing, we did talk about it in our sim meeting. We're gonna be looking at forms.
Yeah.
That either the faculty can fill out themselves, so like if maybe we do have an adjunct that has to take off, family, whatever, they can fill it out, but if whoever is facilitating the experience for the day can take the notes and then fill it out.
Yeah, and I think too, the bigger conversation is also
we have
too
it
that
documented.
faculty shouldn't be taking off early, because they're getting paid to the end time. So they should not be leaving early. So if y'all are seeing that, you gotta let me know. We gotta talk about it, And I know that there's one adjunct in particular that was doing that a little bit, but I'm planning on having a conversation with her and her debrief of her eval from yesterday. So that really shouldn't be happening.
No, I mean, I haven't seen it a lot, but when things come up.
Yeah,
I mean,
no,
things like that.
we've had a one-off situation, like where we were down and Freddie said I could fill in, but I have to leave at 5, and I reflected that in the load when I sent it to Constance.
that's perfect.
So, but that's a one-off, but we don't have people leaving early. I know it's probably the same adjunct before that, with a certain cohort would leave to pick up her kids from school and from the morning shift. But yeah, that seemed like that was the norm with her, and I just went along with it. But we're not having that issue currently in block 3 anyway.
Okay, cool. That's good, because I just want to throw that out there, since, and one-off is not an issue. I mean, we all have a one-off moment, I think we've all had like a one-off semester.
Yeah.
With all the life happening for folks in the past, 8 months, 10 months. But yeah, no, that's great. So yeah, what other questions? I mean, I feel like
No, I think this is good. That's I was just kind of waiting for the starting point, you know, the jump off point to make sure we're all on the same page, but this spells it out. So
Yeah, and I really appreciate your grace with that, everybody, because I don't know. I think I'm just so relaxed about this standard and this committee that I was like, oh, they're good. I did it. I literally swore I did it.
No
And
worries.
then when
That
Karen started
narrow
questions,
brain
I was like,
cognitive.
why is she asking those questions? They're right there. And I felt bad, Karen, because you took the time to do that. You know, I was like, I bendito Karen, she just wasted that time because I didn't do my job.
oh,
Well,
okay.
and I had a conversation with Jill just a few days ago, and she had said something about a crosswalk. I'm like, yeah, we don't have one of those yet. I go, and that's when I realized like that her committee had had 2 meetings already and
Yes.
we're about to have their third, I think. I'm
Yeah.
like, okay, so maybe that's second meeting stuff and we just haven't got it yet. So
Yeah, yeah.
okay.
So based on our minutes, it's literally our second meeting this time. So
Yeah. And you were,
go ahead.
I think you answered the only question I had, you answered inadvertently. I wasn't sure because, you know, the RFACT at one point they had added in like a bunch of adjunct stuff and then they pulled it out again. Like I just wasn't sure. So there is another, you know, adjunct faculty manual and that's what they're following.
Correct. And what I have to do is cross check because is it here? No.
And I don't know if they do it here at PC, but at Scottsdale, the adjunct faculty had their own like orientation as well. And
They go ahead, sorry.
oh, I was gonna say maybe that Deb Dollar is a good person to ask since she is nursing and she's like the head of the adjunct stuff.
Yeah, she'd be a good resource.
Yeah.
Can you guys see the RFA on it now?
Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
perfect. Wasn't sure if I shared it right. So it does have some adjunct information in it, and I gotta see because they actually literally have an entire, like if you go, let's see, I'll show you here. I don't mean to make your car sick here. Adjunct. No, it's for train. Yeah, so it's got the eval and professional development. And I got this off of the district website. It's got all the manuals on here. So let me just ping this for ease of access. Where are we? I am in the wrong window. But here's the adjunct faculty handbook. And I've been in this quite a bit recently just for the pay stuff.
Okay.
So it's definitely less information. I just haven't done a crosswalk between theirs and what's listed in ours. Okay. Meeting minutes. There we go. So that'll help folks.
Perfect.
All right. So I'm just gonna go into 2.6 here since Corinne, you mentioned lots that are duplicated. Pivot focus to simulation on / faculty expectations only. It's the whole standard. All right, so when I was looking at 2.4, because I was saving that for Terry before I figured out she was actually on standard 4. If y'all want to take a quick look at the crosswalk, I'm kind of feeling like 2.4 I can do for the RFA unless somebody feels super passionate about the RFA. Because I'm
Don't
happy.
ever speak at once about their RFA.
Yeah,
project.
yeah. I'm fine to take it. It's not an issue for me. Um, but we may need to revisit leaving 2.6 for last and then see where we land with all the information we have.
Okay.
What do you think about that plan?
Yeah, sounds good.
Sounds
Okay.
good.
One thing on the 2.4, we did just get that new link. For Minnesota SharePoint with some new policies. That they just sent.
Can you say that again?
There's some new policies that shared out with a link to the SharePoint for faculty. That
Can
relate
you
back to the outside.
put the link in there?
Yeah, I saved it.
So I'll just put it here, new policies.
Standard operating procedure.
So, we're gonna hold on 2 point. Hold until other standards are, other criterion. Alright, and then Jave is going to be pinging in all the things. There's that TTP stuff is getting interesting. Cause they found a document from 2021,
Mm.
so it's gonna be a work in progress. All right. Crosswalk document and writing draft uses slash expectations. Is that right? I think that's a good word.
Mhm.
Expectations. What else?
Can't think of anything.
So we got the confirmation of the, do we say 11/11 deliverable?
Mhm.
Okay. And then should I put a calendar invite? That is how I am functioning, my friends, right now.
Mhm.
November 11. That's Veterans Day, so I'm gonna put the 12th, just a ping.
Mm.
Or we can attempt a meeting. What would y'all feel like you want to do?
Are we looking at it?
Say that again?
Are we actually on campus that day?
Not the
Or is
11th.
that,
Oh,
okay, I
no.
was gonna say that one's an off day then, right?
Y'all can come to campus, but I won't be here.
Mhm.
That's my anniversary, so I won't be there.
Oh, happy
well,
anniversary. Which anniversary is it, Karen?
Lucky number 13.
That's beautiful.
Thank you.
See, Karen. All right.
I just thought of one more question I do have. Do you
Please.
know, are there like copies of the evaluation forms that are used for both our full-time residential faculty and our, like just a blank copy of the forms? Any chance
Yes.
we have, are they in the shared drive or?
Not yet. The one for faculty, I think it's in the PAR course, which
Mhm.
I have access to because it was only a couple years ago that I did mine or finished
Okay.
mine, so I still have access. So I
Okay.
can grab that for you.
Okay.
Um,
And then you probably have the adjunct ones, right? Because you do their evals.
yeah, I have the adjunct ones, and we
Yeah, I just
started.
wanted to put links, in section 2.8. I wanted to link to just those documents and here are the things being addressed on the evaluation forms themselves.
Yeah, and that's what I was working on. So let me put ping for myself on deliverable, and then faculty eval form, and then the PAR eval. forms.
Thank you.
My pleasure. Okay. And then, calendar wise, there is a 30-minute moment at 9 a.m. on the 19th. There is a 30-minute moment on the 14th at 11. And it shouldn't, it's a matter of, I'm gonna ask Constance if we meet our deadline of the 11th. We're just pretty much getting the feedback if anything needs to be changed or added, and we're giving our feedback to faculty if there's any feedback for faculty by that date. So like our plan for what we're gonna do in the spring to make sure we meet it, that's our goal for the 11th.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm gonna just line that out here. Faculty recommendations, spring plan to address any deficits. Writing of the draft complete. And then, what did I miss? I said something else. Did I say something else?
I don't think.
I feel like that's everything. I got labs drawn this morning, so my coffee is 4 hours past supposed to be in my system.
Mm.
Unbelievable. So I'm gonna mark in here as well, just for myself, discovery of rework needed for all faculty course. For onboarding perspective. Okay. Anybody else have any discoveries in the 5.5 minutes that we are actually getting to our second meeting?
Well, as people are doing their, like list of the professional development, it would probably be helpful for us to be able to categorize them so we can look, because there's a specific question about professional development and ongoing like faculty development and test writing and teaching strategies and assessment, like how are we doing those? Because we all go to conferences and things that the people are also nursing. I think we need to be able to separate out that yes, we are doing sessions specific to those things. It would probably make it easier to prove.
So a lot of that is housing people's IDPs. In the fall 24 program updates, we got a sense of people's engagement at the state level, the local level, and any additional courses, but that was all going into their file.
Going directly in the file. Yeah, I was looking at that page and like that one column where it says role for the professional development, like even if we could just put it there, so when they flip that open. So, and I don't know how everyone is doing that, but as I started filling it out, there's the one thing that I started trying to specify, so that when I flip the file open, they can quickly see assessment, design, testing.
I still need to update mine, but my plan was with my CNE certification, they have like 8 different categories and they define them all, that
Yeah,
it's gonna kind of section mine out by that, but you know, like professional best practice stuff versus the teaching stuff versus you know, inclusivity, that kind of stuff, like, and
that's handy. I think that would
but
be fun.
I'm sure I could probably get that document off the NLN site if you want to see it as a guide.
That could be good.
Part of that too will be because we have all of the test writing stuff we did with Ginny. So
Mhm.
someone will need to reach out with Ginny to get the PowerPoints from her, the all faculty stuff that she did with us. Since the adjuncts are not doing test writing, then we don't have to worry about that for them specifically.
No.
We could also, because I was realizing when we had that document that we have no way, like hindsight's 2020, we have no
Mhm.
way of being able to see how many faculty we have enrolled in a national organization, how many faculty we have. Like I was like,
Yeah,
um,
it's a good start, but as far as being able to just put in a quick table of like my faculty are part of blah, blah, blah,
hmm.
without having the specifics.
Okay, so I'm gonna say too, because some of this stuff is gonna have to be surveys because other stuff is
Yeah.
people's personal business, in my
Mhm.
opinion, and I'm open to what anyone thinks about this. But we might have to do a couple of surveys.
Yeah,
Uh,
those were a couple of my thoughts that I put down on the planning part.
yeah. And I think a lot of this could be connected to our program updates for the spring.
Hmm.
Like when we do our, did you watch the program updates, answer these
Yeah.
questions, then we can capture all of that at the same time.
Yeah, yeah. Okay.
So
I
that could be, go ahead.
sorry. I'm sorry, I thought you were done. Go
No,
ahead
no,
and finish.
please.
Oh, I was just saying that was one of my thoughts with wanting the nurse Tim faculty side of things to go through or to get approved. Um, is because the adjuncts get access to that and say we have a new hire thing, they have like a best practice for new faculty 6-pack that, hey, we want you to complete this, and then you can track all of that within Nurse Tim for all of your faculty. So that was my thought, that I thought, something like that would have been nice. It didn't seem like many people wanted it, so I don't know if it will get approved or not, but um
I feel like it will because like it's only those of us that have been teaching for a really long time that are like, meh, Tim. But I think I heard a lot of faculty say yes to Tim.
oh,
If
cool.
I remember. So I think what you're saying, Karen, is absolutely a possibility, like a tool for us.
Yeah, because I know like at Honor Health, if they submit so many CEUs, I forget what they call it, the honor roll or something, and they do like a best practice project, that they'll get like $1,000 at the end of the year. So they can almost use the CEUs they get from that to help them with that side of things at their other job, you
Well,
know.
it can help with the clinical ladder, not clinical ladder, the tiers that they have
Yeah,
here.
Yeah,
the adjunct.
It literally is 25 pre-approved credits.
yeah, yeah,
And I'm like, that's it. No, no reflection of those people that are helping on these committees, those people that are letting other faculty come and orient with them, those faculty,
yeah,
Maricopa,
yeah.
can be leveraged for other jobs and the tier advancements because there's no way they're going to say no to a nurse Tim CEU for nursing faculty. Like I can't
Yeah,
imagine.
it's like $1,000 a year, and for 50 people, like, why not?
And the what was the thing I was gonna say? We can ask Justin to be our guinea pig.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I know when I
Hey
was chair
Justin.
at Scottsdale, then you could see all the people that are signed up, and you can see like it creates a spreadsheet of who has done what in there too. So, I mean, obviously if they do things outside of that, you can't see that, but it's a good starting point.
Well, and I think not like some of our adjuncts might not know normally where to go for CEUs, especially related more specifically to nursing education, right? Especially if they're not working, like, if they're not working full time and their hospital or employer doesn't provide something, like I think the membership is really nice for them because if our expectation is that they are, developing in their role as an adjunct faculty, then we can show that we're giving them a tool to help them in that role. Like
Yeah,
here's an easy spot to go to. And
that's a good idea. And then maybe in the faculty page, it's like, hey, faculty, are you doing sim? Look at these great resources that you have access to in Nurse Tim, you know, best practices for, and you can link the CEU, you know. Or if you're doing skills, how do we evaluate? How do we provide good feedback? Like there's CEUs for all that stuff, and we can link it in there for them just to as a reminder.
Mhm.
Can anyone recall off the top of their head right now if in this conversation we've been having that the adjuncts would be included in this plan, or was it just for residential?
No,
It was, yeah,
we
at
include-
Scottsdale it was like $1,000 a year, and it included all the adjuncts as well as full-time faculty.
$1,000 per person, or $1,000
No, no,
overall?
no, 1,000 for the whole department. Now that, of course, that was a few years ago. It's probably gone up a little bit, but I thought it was a steal.
Yeah, I think she's got a.
I think it
she
was
had all
what,
the numbers in there.
1,300 maybe? I think she said 4,000 for 3 years, so 1,300 a year.
I was trying to go back through that email thread and see if she said somewhere. Discounted rate for 3-year subscription, $4,047.30. All adjuncts, staff, and students will get access as appropriate.
Okay. I should email everybody else back and be like, I changed my mind. Let's do it.
Well, that was
Yeah,
my, you want to know my take on it? I don't know if I
Uh-huh.
should say this because it was.
Yeah, I'm gonna pause the recording. No, we're gonna protect ourselves here. We're gonna pause
Yeah.
this recording. Okay.
Our NLN membership, I've asked a couple times, and I've contacted them via email and phone, and I've not heard anything back, but I tried to go on and do, I don't know if it was a conference or some sort of CEU, but it doesn't have me listed as having an active membership. And
Yeah, it's
Constance said we should, and Gabe said we should, and I think Gabe's tried to contact them too. Yeah, but when I log in, I'm not an active member, and I think everybody in Maricopa should be.
so that is in progress. Constance has been on the phone with them multiple times because all of our
Okay.
adjuncts should be a part of it as well. And there was some difficulty because there were still people listed that don't work anymore in Maricopa. And then none of the people that were added, like were requested to be added, were added. So all that's in process, and it should open up like in the next week or so.
Oh,
But
okay, good.
Constance has been working on that.
Okay, cool.
Um, so yeah, I'm sure about that too, because our Terry Kaiser was like, I really want to go to this conference. And we're like, and Constance was like, hold please, we're working on it. Don't pay the non-member rate. Just let them get it organized. But she had to produce a bunch of documents for them, I guess, for it.
Hmm.
So I know that's in progress.
Okay.
And what was that date? At least we can give Constance that update.
For that meeting?
The last time you checked the NLN website.
I'll have to, it was in, I think it was in May or no, maybe it was June when I emailed them, and I called them in September and left a voicemail and never got back. And
Let's look right now.
I can go back and, because I know I emailed Gabe and Constance about it too, so I can see.
Because it should be good. Like this, they were working on this like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Okay.
NLN. Let's do sign in and see what happens. Are you trying to, Karen?
Yeah, I'll try.
I'm trying to, but trying to remember my username is proving challenging.
I always use my Maricopa one.
That's what I'm thinking.
Unable to access members only content.
Did you get that when you logged in or when you went to the?
Yeah, when I logged in, I'm gonna search my name and see what it says now.
I'm doing a forgot password.
Okay. Wait, so I logged in. Where did you go for the members only content?
As soon as I logged in, it came up on the screen. It said you're unable to access.
Oh,
So,
okay. So then I'm probably okay. Mine is.
and this looks the same as it did this summer. It says I'm a FFN, faculty non-member.
Oh, okay.
Hmm.
Interesting. Says
And
that in
it's
your
weird because
profile?
it doesn't list my CNE in here either. So I wonder if I have an account through my personal.
Oh, okay.
So mine says FF, faculty member. Instead of FFN. And I can see my membership card.
Yeah, see, I can't, and it doesn't even have my. Let me click on this button here and see
So
what
I
it does.
actually used my work email because that one gave me a password reset.
Is that what you use to log in, Care?
I use my work email, yeah.
Same. Okay.
And then when I click on my NLN certification, it shows that it expires in 2026, but on the front page, the About Me page, it's like blank where it says certification.
Uh, under your, like in your profile where it has your name, where you saw the faculty non-member, does it list Phoenix College?
Yeah, it's got my home address.
Oh,
It's
okay.
got my
Hold
profile
on.
that has Phoenix College nursing, yeah.
So I think Constance must still need to do something on her end because here's who's listed on the roster for Phoenix College. It's Josefa, Gracia, Corinne, Aaron, me, Constance, Elizabeth, and Maryland. Maryland. I almost called you a state, Maryland. Did you catch
Like
that?
Monroe, girl, Monroe.
Maryland. So there's quite a few people that aren't on here, including the adjunct. So that's probably what
That's what she's
Constance,
working
because
on.
she just sent something out recently about this. So
Yeah.
I bet that's what she's still working on in terms of getting a list of all of our current faculty, all of our current adjuncts. And so.
So I'm just saying I updated the team on the progress with the NLN and your email was received. Quick check today showed no changes.
Perfect.
Okay. And then I'm gonna go with Gabe because she might have left some directive with Gabe to follow up. Perfect. All right, what else we got? It's 10:57. Do we want to do that quick check-in appointment? I saw, like I said, that 30-minute moment on the 14th. Oh, wait, I forgot Constance. Whoopsie. We need her in that one. Just kidding. No one's available. We have time on the 25th, on the 26th, and the 27th, but I was trying to stay away from the 27th for everybody. Do we want to say like 9 on the 26th?
On the 26th, I'm available.
Works for me.
Okay. Standard 2, meeting. I'm gonna add the Zoom. I always forget it got the Google Drive thing. I can just link the document. Standard 2 meeting, insert, and then I will add the link. All right. So we're good for our deliverables. And then how about, so are we saying 11/11 for just making sure we're done with everything and then we're just meeting to discuss it on the 25th? Yes? Or 26th?
Yep, that was my understanding.
Okay. Deliverables complete. Next meeting. 11/26 to discuss. I'm gonna also add in here that plan. Oh, I did. Okay, spring. So the faculty, Marilyn, get it together. The program updates where we can send the survey for any data that we need outstanding. We'll need those topics before listed there too, so that what the questions are gonna be, that way I can have them on the survey. You know what I'm saying? So address any deficits, program updates, questions for the survey. Okay. Sound good? All right. Thank you everyone so much. Happy
Thanks.
Friday. Have a good weekend.
Yes,
Thank
you
you
too.
too.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Bye.